Day live panel now. Sitaram Yechury, Politburo member of the CPIM. Ravi Shankar Prasad, chief spokesperson and member of parliament, deputy leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. Jyotiraditya Scindia, Union Minister of State. Thank you very much, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Ravi Shankar Prasad. I'd like to start by getting Sitaram Yechury into the panel. Sitaram Yechury makes an observation, Jyotiraditya Scindia. He says that your government has decided that all populism will happen. It will happen even more now, but the only difference is that the populism will happen outside the budget. Sitaram Yechury, would you like to make your point? I'll get Mr. Scindia to respond.
Oh, well, if you're talking about the budget, I'd like to make a point that I think this budget is neither growth-oriented nor is this going to be inclusive. Neither of them is going.
So why did you say that populism will happen outside the budget?
Because everybody expected that this being the last full-fledged budget of this government, and since they're going into elections next year, many SOPs will be announced. That they haven't announced that. That's actually good for the economy. I mean, it's not that bad. I wouldn't for a change. I would support that. But I think these are going to come in three major flagship things. Will have to come in through separate legislation. For example, the direct benefits transfer that the finance minister announced today, it has to come through a separate legislation on the Aadhaar itself. I mean that has not yet been passed by the parliament. The second, on the question of food security, that has to come as a separate bill, for which then the allegations will be made, not necessarily through the budget allegations, but outside. The third one, which is going to be, that is on your land acquisition, and that is also has to come in through a separate legislation. So all these three, which I'm sure the UPA would use as its election flagship.
So this is only today's budget you're saying is only for the credit rating agencies.
Credit rating agencies and trying to attract foreign investment. But I have a fundamental point there. My point is, and which I want to flag off so that you can also join in the discussion. You see, investment per se can never lead to growth unless what is produced by that investment is consumed. People have to have the purchasing power to buy. World is in almost a double dip recession. You cannot export your products, what you produce. Your people in India have to have that purchasing power to buy what is being produced, even if you get more investments. Now that purchasing power, on the contrary, you're squeezing further. Now squeeze your people further and leave very little consumption power in their hands. Then where is growth going to happen?
Extreme cynicism towards...
Not cynicism, this is facts.
No, facts for you, the government, Mr. Scindia may view it as cynicism or he may agree with you. Okay. The choice is his. Mr. Scindia, do you agree with Sitaram Yechury's opening assessment?
Well, I think, Arnab, the opening line I would want to make is that the opposition's job is to oppose. So whether there's something good or not in the budget, my good friend Mr. Sitaram Yechury's job is to oppose it. Now, I would think that at least we would get some sort of a single bouquet along with multiple of his brickbats for the super rich tax that we've imposed. But even that had no mention from his point of view. Jokes aside, I think it's a very pragmatic budget. It's a budget that's focused on maintaining fiscal discipline, 4.8% for next year, revenue deficit of 3.3% for next year. It's a budget that's focused on enlarging the scope to the social sector. Health budgets have gone up by close to 17%, education by 24%. JNURM has received a shot in the arm by almost about 100%. Rural development by almost 46%. And at the same time spurring on investment and manufacturing. Now, Sitaramji said that there's not much there for manufacturing and investment. I would beg to differ. I think he would agree with me that infrastructure is a key mover of the economy. We need $1 trillion worth of investment. 47% of this has to come from the private sector. This is a sector which needs a lot of leverage and a very deep debt market, which is why the finance minister has said that tax-free bonds limit should be raised to 50,000 crores from 25,000 crores. The creation of a debt institution along with ADB. The Cabinet Committee on Infrastructure has been moving very quickly on projects, including my Ministry of Power, and a depreciation allowance for any investment made above 100 crores at a 15% accelerated rate. So I think there are very, very important steps that have been taken. To the comment that he made, about Aadhaar. Aadhaar does not necessarily require a huge amount of financial outlay. It's talking about directing subsidies in a much more targeted manner. With regard to the food security bill, he has made an allowance of 10,000 crores in this current budget. So I think all of these issues have been taken into account. But the problem is that a glass half full is always seen as half empty.
We will come to the broader issues. Sitaram Yechuri feels you've gone off track.
Yeah.
Sitaram Yechury's view is that you've gone off track in your opening comments. But let's get the BJP also in, which has been roundly
the off track has delivered 9% growth for this country in 4 out of 6 years and 8% over the last plan.
Well, you have to go by the present, not by the past.
Yes, the present, yes, is a difficult time, Arnab, but please understand, it's a difficult time globally. And the French president, who is of the same thinking as Sitaram Yechuri ji, who was in town 2 weeks ago, talked about India gloom and doom at 6% GDP growth rate, whereas his country is trying to stay neck above water at 0%, if not negative. So I think it's important to be able to see things in context.
Jyotiraditya Scindia, the floor now goes to the BJP on the show this evening. Jyotiraditya Scindia, you say the opposition is opposing for the sake of opposing. In that case, your barb would be aimed directly at Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, because he came out with the first detailed response to the budget today. Mr. Prasad, why are you opposing for the sake of opposing a budget in which Chidambaram had a very difficult job at hand to start with?
Or no, this difficult job at hand is the mantra I'm hearing on Times now since morning. But who had
Arnab, I can't hear Ravi Shankar ji.
This question is not being asked. This government is in power for the last now 10 years. They are entering 10 years in few months' time. Therefore, if because of the rank mismanagement of economy, if the present situation has arisen, they are themselves to be blamed because they have no elbow room at all. Don't forget, in 2008, Mr. Chidambaram was the finance minister. He went for Manrega, he went for loan waiver of 60,000 crore, and the fiscal deficit, which was 2.8%, jumped to 6%. Therefore, because he has no scope, no elbow room, all because of his own doing, because he has to reduce the plan expenditure by as much as 92,000 crore and current account by 37,000 crore. But what is worrying for me is this. If Mr. Scindia wants our cooperation for their corruption and lack of good governance, I'm sorry or no, we are not game for it. Be very clear about it.
Okay.
If they want our cooperation to shield the helicopter scam, sorry, we are not game for that. But we'll discuss that separately. But what is important is this. Coming to this budget, manufacturing is down, agriculture is down, infrastructure is down, investment sentiment is down, saving is down. And all this, Mr. Chidambaram has himself acknowledged. How does the budget is going to give any kind of encouragement to all this scenario is absolutely not clear, when even in his press conference he stated that I had very small legroom, my economic space was very restricted. It was entirely his creation. And my last point is very important. A lot of reference is being made to the global crisis. We had also a crisis when Mr. Bajpayee was in power in 2001-2. But what about lack of domestic investment? Why even internal investor is reluctant to invest? Because they are not sure of the return. So in totality, infrastructure is down, manufacturing is down, everything is down, and this budget does not create any scenario to give any assurance for that. When it is the last year of the government.
First of all, Mr. Scindia, could you hear at least a substantial part of what Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad said?
I couldn't hear a word.
Could you hear? I couldn't hear a word. You could. So I will succinctly put it to you. Before that, I want to go back to Sitaram Yechuri, who felt that you deflected completely away from him. You make that point on why you felt he deflected.
Yeah, you see, it's the job of the government to defend what they do, and it's our job to oppose what they do, but not merely for the sake of opposition. What I'm saying is, you see, yes, go ahead and attract investment, no doubt. But as I said earlier, you have to have the purchasing power in the hands of the people to buy what is being produced. Now, secondly, you talk of the fiscal consolidation. You look at the budget, you look at the fine print of the budget, that there is a slash in expenditures. your overall consumption in the country was growing at the rate of 8% growth every year. It has come down to 4%. What I'm saying is, you slash expenditures, you inflate the projection of revenue collections, and then you say you have brought down the fiscal deficit. No, hang on. One second. The super rich that he talked of, please remember what has been done. You have put a 10% surcharge on the tax that they pay on more than 1 crore of earning. It's not a 10% on the earning. It's a 10% on the tax that they pay. So
not the tax they pay over 1 crore. The tax that they pay on that you put a surcharge.
No. You see, the tax that you pay, on that 35% tax that you pay, on that there is a surcharge of 10%.
Yeah.
Not on your total earnings.
Yeah.
So you see, the point is, France has done it. Holland won the election on that plank. Obama has done it. Now, in the situation of global situation, everybody is doing that. So do not take credit for all these things. These are some inevitable things that will have to happen.
So don't
my concern.
Let's get a response. Don't take credit for the super rich tax. Don't stretch it too far, says Sitaram Yechury. 1 minute.
It's not a tax. It's tokenism.
Omkar goes.
What Sita is saying is correct. The 10% surcharge, I've done the calculation, the 10% surcharge of over 1 crore, so 1 crore and 1 rupee amounts to 2,83,000 rupees. Okay? Let's be very clear. Because up to 2 lakhs there's nil, then from 2 lakh to 5 lakh is 10%, then from 5 lakh to 10 lakh is 20%, then from 10 lakhs to 1 crore is 30%.
So what are you saying?
There is a surcharge.
Sure, you are running it down.
So it is, I'm just simply saying 2,83,000 for every crore, assuming on average 2 crore per person.
Now, now I think.
The other point, the other point, Mr. Scindia, you made about infrastructure. Now, you're the power minister. That's the big area where investments are completely stalled. You're a worried man. You've been making all those trips to Paryavaran Bhavan for environmental clearances from Jayanti Natarajan. That hasn't worked. So how are you saying that this budget will address the infrastructure problem when so many projects in the pipeline haven't been resolved despite you personally getting into those clearances? How are you going to speed up that process?
I'm so glad, Navika, you raised this issue. There's so much noise and inconsistency on this issue of clearances, and I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to clear it. First of all, your statement is completely incorrect. Let me put the facts before you. This fiscal, we have commissioned close to about 14 gigs worth of power plants. By the end of this financial year, we will have commissioned an additional 3.5, taking that to about 18 gigs. Our target for the 12th five-year plan is 88 gigs. If we are able to commission 18 gigs per annum as we will do this year, then we will achieve that target, number one. Number two, you talked about environmental clearances. I can only tell you about my experience. In the last 100 days, through my senior colleague Jayanti Natarajanji, I have got permission for hydro projects for 2,629 megawatts. I have got transmission line clearances for... Yes, because that's the time that... No, hold on, Arnab. Let me speak for the time that I've been in this position. Okay? In the area of transmission projects, I've got 15 projects cleared for forest clearance, stage 1. 5 projects cleared for forest clearance, stage 2. The Forest Rights Act was coming in the way of linear projects. Along with the Tribal Affairs Minister, we have obviated that requirement, and now linear projects for transmission can be online. So in my experience, we have achieved headway on the environmental side, and I have not had issues that you have been describing.